Hello everyone, and welcome to a new Bitcoin and crypto video. If you enjoy Bitcoin and crypto videos, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, as this will help me a lot. In today's video, we will be looking at Bitcoin and inflation, and asking is Bitcoin a hedge against inflation? Without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. 2022 was one hell of a rollercoaster year and a year of major events. From Russia sending Europe and the entire world into an economic tailspin over the invasion of Ukraine, billionaire Elon Musk taking control of Twitter, the collapse of the crypto exchange FTX at the hands of Sam Bankman-Fried, and even light-hearted events like one of the greatest football players ever, Lionel Messi winning the FIFA World Cup. 2022 had it all, and had a whole lot more than that, because 2022 had one of the biggest economic stories, which was high inflation. Everything from fuel to food to entertainment gotten more expensive over the past year, while wage growth had not kept pace, leaving many feeling the pinch as they were unable to buy the same things they could a year ago. Inflation, in simplest terms, is the sustained rise in overall price levels. For example, if a house was worth $100 last year and inflation is at 7% today, the same house will be worth $107. As inflation rises further, the same house would cost you even more. In 2022, inflation levels reached all-time highs across the world. Australia, for instance, saw inflation rate reach 6.1%, which was the fastest annual increase in 21 years. In the United States, inflation reached 9.1% in June 2022, which was the highest in 40 years, while Turkey's annual inflation climbed to a 24-year high of 80.21% in August of 2022. For nearly a decade, crypto investors and advocates have promoted Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation and a store of value against fiat currency. One major selling point for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general has been its ability to be an effective hedge against inflation during times of economic turmoil. A hedge against inflation is an asset or investment that maintains or increases its value over time while protecting against adverse price fluctuations. Bitcoin advocates have long argued that its scarcity would protect its value during times of rising inflation. This has not been proven to be true when you look at the price of Bitcoin over the year. The value of the cryptocurrency market overall has plummeted alongside rising inflation, with Bitcoin losing more than half of its value since January 2022. Bitcoin is not the only cryptocurrency to suffer in the past year, as we also witnessed the collapse of the Terra USD and Luna in 2022. The Luna coin went from being worth $116 to a fraction of a penny before being delisted. Since we have already witnessed that Bitcoin is not immune from macroeconomics, was it all a lie that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation? Not necessarily. Do I think that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation in the short term? My answer is no. Let's not forget that Bitcoin is only 14 years old and the global market is a complex environment with many nuts and bolts and a lot of nuance that need to be understood. It is through time that we can learn the nuance of this complex global market and how Bitcoin can come in and be a hedge against inflation. Could Bitcoin be a hedge against inflation in the long term? Yes. I think Bitcoin could be a safe haven in times of turmoil and disarray in the long term. Due to its limited supply and decentralization, I believe that in the long term, Bitcoin can be a hedge against inflation. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies remain a speculative investment which can still evolve into a mature asset that can be a hedge against inflation, but we can only be sure of its ability to be a hedge against inflation through time and it having a track record. Bitcoin has the potential to be a hedge against inflation because, even though cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin in particular took a pounding in 2022, they still performed much better than other assets and currencies. An example of this is the Turkish lira. In September 2021, $1 US was worth around 8 Turkish lira, yet by December 2022, $1 was nearly 19 Turkish liras. This meant that people have watched their salaries lose purchasing power and the value of their savings evaporate. 2022 was a bad year for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We witnessed the collapse of the Terra USD and Luna, the collapse of FTX, the Ukraine-Russia war and record-breaking inflation levels, just to mention a few. We thought that Bitcoin would be a hedge against inflation, but that was not the case as Bitcoin crumbled with the rise of inflation. Even though Bitcoin didn't hold up to inflation and other market factors, I still feel like Bitcoin has the ability to hedge against inflation in the future considering the fact that it outperformed other economies and assets despite it being down over 50% since January 2022. That's all that I have for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button and sharing this content to any of your friends. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.